Hey guys, Wages World here. It's May 5th, 2020. I'm going to come at you with a video. Okay guys, this is the Shoeman. I'm going to give you an update on it real quick. And, I get here by going to Mr. MBB3's webpage. I'm going to take you guys over there here in a second and show you a couple things there too. But this is another big spike. This is the one I showed you guys yesterday. And then we had a smaller one a few hours later. What I want to say here, guys, and I said this before, go back 3 or 4 years and look at this. And what you're going to see is the majority of the time, you're going to see the 7.83, that little line right there, is always there. And you're not going to see much more, except for maybe once or twice a month when we get a spike. Okay, that's how few and far between they were back then. Now, I'm just talking 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not talking like back in the 50s or something, We're just talking just a few years ago. And something else I want to say, everybody in this community, and even outside of this community, I'm seeing almost everybody talk about this tool right now. And we've been seeing these spikes for months. Why all of a sudden now everybody's talking about it? And I'm talking about, channels that do know what this is, and even channels that don't know what this is are starting to recognize that something's off. And we need to figure that out. There's a bunch of theories here and there, and I'm not going to get into that in this video. But I don't believe in coincidence. I really don't. I think everything's happening for a reason, and that's just what it is. Okay? That's how I believe. You guys are welcome to believe, this is all coincidence or whatever. I wouldn't judge you on that anyway. I mean, it's all good for me on that end. But for me, I think when we see all these people running these channels talk about the same thing in a very similar fashion, maybe we all should really be paying attention to this thing really, really close. Just my opinion. Okay, guys. I got you back over here at Mr. MBB3's webpage. He's got a tab that he uses for years now, and it's new UV readings. This is actually how I found this community, just to be honest with you. I came across Mr. MBB3's channel, and because I was looking at UV readings. I was trying to figure out, what was the UV index or something for that day. And I just happened to happenstance come across his UV network that he's got going on. And I watched one of his videos. Again, I don't think that's coincidence. I think I was meant to see that. Anyway, here we go. You got the new UV readings. He's starting his thing. He does this every year around this time because UV is going to become very important to everybody. Obviously during the summertime, here you go. We got sunburns to worry about and all host of other things. And I'm going to show you guys a UV chart and what that stuff can do to you. Okay, I'm going to show you guys that chart here in just a second. But if you click on this on his webpage, it'll take you over here, digital UV readings. Okay, right now it's just him. He's going to start getting in information. Usually that's what happens from all the people that have these tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over there for a minute, okay? And we're going to check this out for just a second. Okay, and it's going to take us to his YouTube page. And I'll explain to you what we're seeing here. I'll pause it. Okay, right there. Those are those things he has in his hand. He's in Arizona. He takes that tool and he shines it right up. It puts it right where the sun's shining on it. That way he can get the best, uninhibited reading of UV. That's why he does that. Now, if I back this up a little bit, let's go forward a little bit. Okay. Now, what you're looking at there, these are the tools. On the left is UVC. On the right is UVA and B. Okay. UVC should not be getting to the surface. And I'm going to show you some stuff here in a minute that, will help you understand why that should not be happening. Okay. But it is. So we need to talk about it. Now, the one on the right, like I said, is UVA and B. Sunscreen can help us with that. If we apply it right, use the right stuff, we're pretty much protected. UVC, there is no sunscreen for UVC. Okay, just to let you know. Only way to protect yourself from that is either to find some way to get shaded or wear clothing that covers your skin. Now, our skin does a decent job at some level of keeping some of that stuff out, at least from our organs, but it's still affecting our skin. So UVC gets to us at a molecular level. And I'll show you some more stuff here in a minute. But UVC should not be getting to the surface. So this is what's so important right here, okay? And I think Mr. MBB3 has done a great service to everybody involved here, because this is really, number one, it helped me. I know that. And I know there's a bunch of other people out there that say the same thing. I don't know that he even knows that people feel that way, but I do. Again, I found this community through his channel, just from looking for UV readings. And like I just said a minute ago, I don't believe in coincidence. I was supposed to do that, and it happened, right? So, let's move on to the other stuff real quick. Okay, guys, we're still here at his webpage, and I want to point something out here, because I wouldn't be doing the right thing unless I showed you guys this, okay? And what this is, I was watching this video, and this big green box right here usually isn't there. Okay, so we're going to click on it, and I want you guys to keep a, just take a look at it here. So we'll go over here, and I can tell you right now, this was probably hard for him to do. He didn't even mention it. Well, he mentioned it, but he didn't go and elaborate what that tab was about on his video. He just wants people to go look at this and make up, see if they want to help. He don't want to, in other words, he's not trying to push it on people. Okay, and I respect that 100%. It was probably hard for him to even do this at all, because he probably feels bad about it, but he shouldn't. He should not. Mr. MBB3, if you're listening to my video here, don't feel bad about that at all. You've given a lot of time and a lot of things to people that you don't even realize how much your channel has affected me, even. Okay? Not to mention the thousands and thousands of people out there that watch you every day. So just know that don't ever feel bad about stuff like this. Now, what it is he's having some right here. So I think it's pretty much, if you read it, it's about a financial issues that he's having. Okay, so go check this out, and if you feel led to go ahead and help him out, please do. He's given so much to this community, and and like I said a minute ago, this was probably really hard for him to do, and I hope that he doesn't really feel too bad about that, because he shouldn't feel bad about it at all. But he stresses even right here that he does not want people to help him unless they can. He don't want to put anybody in a bad position, is basically what I'm saying. And I respect exactly what he did here. So, like I said, I use his channel and his links a lot. So I wouldn't be doing the right thing unless I showed you this. So I'll leave a link over here. You guys go check out his webpage and everything I just showed you. Okay, guys, this is UVA, what it can do to us, and what's going on with UVA in particular. Okay, I'm not going to read this verbatim, but it is pretty good information. Okay, UVA says right here, it's not filtered out by the ozone layer or glass windows. It says it's less dangerous than other wavelengths, because what we're looking at, guys, is extreme ultraviolet. It's not extreme, it's just UV light, ultraviolet light, and we can't see it with our eyes, but it's still, light. And what makes us not be able to see it is the wavelength itself. The whole visual spectrum, what we can see, is extremely small. There's all kinds of other stuff, and this translates basically into radiation. Okay, but anyway, it says may still lead to skin cancer. Obviously, they're talking about prolonged exposure to UVA. All right, so we'll go over here and we'll check out UVB. Crucial to vitamin D production, long-term and unprotected exposure still causes skin cancer. Okay, this is the stuff that we all know about right here. UVA and B is what we typically talk about when we're talking about UV stuff, like for sunburns and things. Sunscreen protects against both UVA and UVB exposure. And if you read down here, it says humans need UVB to survive, but also must protect against long-term or intense exposure. Okay, long-term exposure, skin cancer, premature aging. It says 1.3% of the UV light which reaches the surface of the Earth is UVB. Okay, 1.3%. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, does it? That's because that spectrum is so large, and the light spectrum there is so large and so many things in that we can't see it, and only 1.3% of it is UVB. Now check this out. UVC. Now I want you guys to really pay attention to this part, okay? Because this is where it gets really, really, where we got to really, just pay attention strong here. Highly dangerous to humans. It just flat comes out and says it. Okay? Causes lesions, burns, and more. Increases risk of skin cancer. Okay? This is where it really becomes important. Humans have no natural protection against UVC light. Sunscreens do not protect against UVC exposure. Even short bursts of exposure can cause irreversible damage to skin and eyes. We're now getting that on the surface, okay? Now, it says right here, look at this. I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is not true anymore. You guys can go look this up yourself. Some people are still standing by this narrative, and they know that it's wrong, okay? It says 0%. Right there. Well, I might need to pull that over. Here we go. 0% of the UVC emitted by the sun reaches the surface of the Earth. Why? The ozone is supposed to block that or absorb it or whatever it does to it. Okay? Damages plant DNA even after short term. We've been seeing a lot of strange plant stuff going on, guys. This is why. At least in my opinion. It was thought that UVC could not make it to the surface unless it came from like welding machines and, old style tanning beds and stuff like that. It says UVC wands may be helpful as a form of, and they're talking about like growing plants and stuff here. All right. I just pulled this off of you Google images of UVC light and its effect on a human body. You'll get a whole lot of stuff here. Okay. And every one of them that you're going to see is going to tell you that UVC is impossible to get to the surface. Well, they're wrong. And I just showed you why. Mr. MBB3 just showed you that remember the one on the left, the two little tools he had there? The one on the right was showing A and B, and the one on the left was showing C. And it had a reading. It used to just always be 0 till like 3 years ago. And then his network of people started sending stuff in with UVC readings. And I'm talking like some of those actually got kind of high. So science needs to change what they're saying here. There's a whole lot of things that can affect this, but this is dangerous. All right, this can be. And they need to get all this stuff and quit talking about, hey, UVC cannot make it to the surface. Well, it is. Okay, here's another chart that I wanted to show you guys. I'm not going to read this verbatim or anything, but it's the UV index on the left, and then it gives you a description of what it can do. Then it gives you recommended protection steps that you can take. And then I think this is pretty cool. It tells you the estimated sunburn time. Okay, so if the UV index is 0 to 2, in about an hour, you could have a sunburn. Take at least an hour. Now, from 3 to 5, we're talking 40 minutes, and so on and so forth. Okay, if the UV is at 11 or above, less than 15 minutes, you could have a sunburn. That's quick. And we've seen that reading up there. multiple times, depending on where you're at in the world. Now, the only thing that can protect you completely against this stuff is shade. You can achieve that by, carrying an umbrella with you or wear clothes over top of it. But, if it's hot out, most people don't want to wear long sleeves and covering their neck and the top of their head and all that kind of thing. Okay? So an umbrella is really a great choice for most people. But do your best to stay out of that direct stuff. We're coming into the season, guys. Like I just said a minute ago, even short bursts of UVC can have lasting effects on your eyes and your skin and everything else. So, um, so yeah. So I really wanted to go through that with you guys today with the UVC because we are coming into that time of year. Also, guys, I wanted to show you this too because we've been talking a lot about the sun cycle. This is a capture from Soho, which I show you guys captures from there all the time. I think this is the 190, not the 193, they're like the 171 angstrom of light. The yellow one I show you guys all the time. Now, the one on the top is 2019, the one on the bottom is 2015. Those are unedited, unfiltered captures. So you can see the difference between solar maximum and solar minimum. That's the difference. Okay, in 2019, we broke a record. I think it was even higher than 271. I can't remember exactly what that came in at the end of the year. But we had an extreme amount of days with no sunspots at all. And then if you click back 4 years, you're looking at 2015, where there were 0 days without sunspots. Every day there was at least one sunspot. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. I wanted to show that to you because I think that this right here is one of the single best visuals we can give people to help them understand the difference between solar maximum and solar minimum. And this is exactly what that is. This is what the sun looks like in both of those spots. Okay? The bottom solar maximum, the top solar minimum. So you can see now that as we move into, solar maximum again here in the next few years, the sun's going to go back to this. See all them sunspots? And like I've been telling you guys, CMEs, solar flares, happen more often around these sunspots. So I hope that helps somebody kind of understand what's going on with that. Guys, I wanted to show you this too. Scott did this. He posted this on his channel also. This right here is back on the 29th, I think. Is this one on the 29th? Yes, 29th. Look at that, guys. I just don't even know what to say about this anymore. And I say that a lot too. But look at that. Ain't that crazy? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. And then I think the next one's zoomed in. I mean, we'll zoom in even further if you want to see it. I mean, I don't see how anybody can kind of deny what's going on there. Yeah. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to comment on it because you guys go over and check out Scott's video. He put that together there and was talking about this, and he actually caught something on the 5th too, I think yesterday. And we were kind of conversating about it back and forth via text. But yeah, there you go. Okay, guys, I got you over here at Seeds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the past 3 days. Okay, because we had the CME, the starter one, and guess what? We're getting more. Okay. I already showed you guys that little blip there of what was going on with that. We'll probably never know exactly what that was, but it was pretty significant size. It could have been charged particles, cosmic rays, or anything like that. It could have been. It did not look the typical signature we see with those, but, I'm not going to rule that out. And I'm talking about the one that was down here. The one up here, I think, was a camera anomaly, along with the two stacked rectangle over here. And the reason why is because they almost exactly resemble the internal parts of the camera. Okay, The one that showed up down here did not. It didn't look like any of the camera parts. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I guess I could kind of stop it here and let you guys see it again. Let me get to there and about now. Okay, and I'll back it up. We'll go back and take a look at it real quick. Okay, just so you guys know what I'm talking about in case you missed my video yesterday. This is what I was talking about. Okay, I do think, and this is just, again, it's my opinion. That's all. That's all that is. Okay, so up here, I do think that that is part of the internal makeup of the camera getting from reflective light, along with these two rectangle stacked. Okay, if you guys can look at the pictures of these cameras, they look like tubes. Okay, and they have a bunch of moving parts in them. They have things that look very similar to a lot of the stuff we see that we think could be, whatever, like a UFO or an extra something else shooting through the galaxy or shooting through our solar system. But 99% of the time, guys, it's just a simple reflection from inside that camera. But this one was a little different, okay? And that's why I showed it to you guys. That has, there's nothing there that looks like any part of that camera. So I don't know what that is, okay? It's very bright. I know that. I can tell you that. You know, so I really don't know what to say about that one because it was very, very interesting. And again, we'll probably never know exactly what that was. We can all speculate and go down that road if we want, but I don't think that that's going to do much good because it was only there for one capture. All right, we didn't see it again. None of that other kind of stuff. Okay, so if these things were actually things there, they would probably be there more than once. So that's why I was kind of, leaning towards this right there still being some sort of a cosmic ray burst or something, or at least just a bright reflection that kind of went into the camera and reflected pretty crazy looking and did that. But it does look, I mean, I just don't know. Anyway, so I wanted to, show you that part. Now I'm going to go to the next day. This is the 4th. And again, here's the ending of that CME. Okay, and that gray box, guys, that we seen on, that's Mercury transient through there, okay? Just so you guys know. Let's wait for it to get back there. Man, I'm going to get mad here in a minute, guys. Hold on a minute. Okay, so when Mercury goes through there, it's going to put a gray rectangle over top of it. Now, why does it do that? Well, it's because the tool is trying to block that light out. That's all that it's doing. Okay, it's designed to do that. This side of the tool here is trying to detect CMEs. That's its job. Okay. Now over here, you can see Mercury going in, and I'm not sure if it went in front of the sun that time or behind. I'd have to go look at solar system scope. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I can't remember if Mercury goes retrograde or if it goes the other way. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I could go look at the star chart and show it to you. But so yeah, so that's that day. Now here's the 5th. Okay, this is the last time we got any kind of data from this. We did get the whole day in there though, I think. So what you're seeing at the end of this, you're seeing another CME on this side. Okay, anytime you see those big bright flashes, most likely the sun just did something. Now, it might not be nothing real serious, but something, some light left the sun there, some sort of a burst of energy or whatever, hit the satellite. So, and, a lot of times we found that when we see that blinking, if shortly thereafter, we'll see the CME start coming out from behind this occulter, heading out the way. So, because the sun's surface is right here. That black circle is the occulter, for those that don't know. It blocks the main part of the light so we can even get a capture. Okay, so I'm going to show you these CMEs on SDO. Okay, this is the 171. Now, over here is where the first one happened. Okay, and it's going to be pretty clear when it does happen. It's getting ready to pop there. I think there it went. Did you see that? I hope you guys seen that. But it actually is around that sunspot that finally rotated off. Okay, but watch right in here. You'll see it shoot off right at the there. It went. See that? That was that first initial CME. But if we keep watching towards the end of this time lapse, we see another one. See it leaving right there? Okay. I think we might even see a third one here if we watch long enough. Yep. Nope. Nope. Just two. Okay. Now, but we also had a smaller one on this side. Now, most of this one did not leave the sun. And that's something I've been noticing here at, the past week or so. These filaments have been stretching out pretty tall. You see that? How they didn't really. I think some of that left the sun, but I don't think all of it did. So that would still be considered a CME if any of that plasma broke loose and went on out into space. Okay, and it does look like it did, because as we're looking at this, the actual picture frame here gets cut off right here. So we see a ball of whatever energy. See that right there? It went on out into space, guys. That was a CME. Okay. And we did see that over on seeds. It wasn't huge or anything, but it was actually going more towards the backside. Now, I'm going to show you guys a difference in something here in just a second. This is the 171 angstrom, okay? Watch this little area right here. You see how that's, kind of standing up there and just kind of teasing us? Yeah. But it never leaves the sun. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to 304, and we'll take a look at it there, and you'll be able to really tell. Okay, this is a 304. Now, if we go over here, we kind of see the CME. Now, what we're looking at here, guys, is a different angstrom. So it's seeing different gases. Okay, that's the filter. The filter is doing that. That's why we look at different ones. Okay, now this CME happens right at the beginning, and again, you're not going to see much here because it wasn't in this angstrom of light, but we still kind of see it active right there. Now, let's go up here and check it out. As we zoom out here, you see that one? Okay, we're going to watch this one shoot off, and this one's really, really fast, and you can see most of it return back to the sun. Okay, and when it starts here, I'll tell you. It's getting ready to go. See it? Boom, 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 boom. See what that did? It danced across the surface of the sun. Wasn't that cool? Some of that did leave. Some of that did leave the sun, all right, but not a huge part of it. If that whole filament, that right there would have left the sun, that would have been a decent sized stinking CME, guys. But check this one out too. We've been watching this one for a couple days. This one here is pretty impressive. What's impressive to me, did you guys see what that thing just did? Okay, you could probably fit, oh gosh, probably 10 Earths inside that thing. That's how big these things are. Now you can physically see it go out, and it does not leave the sun. Okay, it gets pretty high away from the surface. Look at it. It's trying to, but the sun doesn't want to let go. Now, spaceweather.com did an article today talking about raining plasma. Okay, and this is what they're talking about. If you look at this, you can see all that plasma raining back down onto the surface. And I'm going to take you guys over to the space weather real quick and show that to you. Okay, we had some amateur astronomers checking this out, and they did a pretty good job. But that's raining plasma back down on the sun. Pretty cool. Okay, guys, I got you over at spaceweather.com. Check this out. That's that filament I just showed you guys. See how it's raining back down on there? Ain't that cool? I thought that was awesome. Look at that. That's just, man, that's awesome. So good job. Whoever caught that, good job. I mean, wow. I just think it's neat. But you see how big all that stuff is? The CME is when all that leaves the sun and gets shot out. So that's why we talk about it. That's a lot of plasma leaving the sun. And like I said a minute ago, you could probably fit 10 or 11 Earths in here, into this thing. That's how big this thing is. And obviously, on the scale of cosmic scales, it's not that big. I get it. But for us, that's huge. Here's another interesting part about that. It says mysteriously, some of the raindrops, which was the plasma raining back down to the sun, it went back to the sun faster than the ambient conditions there. It was going at 100,000 miles per hour back down to the surface. That's how fast it was traveling. It's pretty quick, guys. I'd hate to get hit in the head with some, even a regular raindrop going 100,000 miles an hour. Probably go right through me. Anyway, but yeah. So I give a lot of credit to these guys over here at spaceweather.com because they're knocking it out of the park right now, guys. They really are. And they're talking about this meteor shower too. Now remember, early in the morning today, and then tomorrow early in the morning, if you guys got clear skies, go look out towards east-southeast just a couple hours before sunrise, and you may be able to catch some of these meteors zipping by. Okay, we could talk about all that meteor stuff too, but man, that's a big discussion right now. And obviously, this video went way longer than I really intended it to. To those that stuck around and watched the whole thing, thank you. But anyway, I really wanted to get that out about the UV. That was really my main goal here, so people can be protected from that and know what to do. Now, remember, UVC, guys, that's bad stuff, and we should not be seeing it on the surface, but we are. Just letting you know. So anyway, guys, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.